Namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam, namo namaha, jai Ganesha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org, and there is a donate button if you'd like to help us out. Be the bubble. We are all like bubbles on the ocean of life. Look at our mighty oceans. And as Hindus, we look at the cosmic ocean within. From the Rig Veda, Hindu samudra idyarti vayu bhir. Hindu with the support, bhir, of the breath, vayu. Grab a hold, idyarti, of the cosmic ocean within, samudra. We all need to learn to navigate through this life. You can listen to our podcast on navigating through life. But the first thing we have to recognize is that we are living on planet Earth. This is why the very first word for what is called Hindu Dharma, Hinduism, the Hindu religion today, is Ritta. Ritta Dharma. Victory, Ritvijam, to Mother Nature, B.U.B.B.L.E Mata. Of course, the first word is, by implication, Hindu. Those people living in the Indus River Valley became known as the Indus or the Hindus, and their way of life Hindu or Hinduism later. But many synonyms, Ritta, and then Dharma, and then Vedic Dharma, Yoga Dharma, Sanatan Dharma, Brahmanism, Hinduism, the Hindu religion. Sabeka Sarva Ekam. So ideally, devout Hindus seek to learn from everything. Of course, starting with Mother Nature, B.U.B.B.L.E Mata. And you can listen to our podcast on learning from B.U.B.B.L.E Mata. And especially important and relevant is the ocean and the sunrise. Because, of course, it doesn't rise, does it? This is the Hindu understanding of Maya, or the many illusions of life. Wonderful to go to the beach at sunrise, quote unquote, and see that red dot that appears on the horizon. Hence the Potu, the Bindi of the Hindus, representing the light within. And there's a point on a clear day when half the sun is showing above the horizon, and obviously the other half is beneath. This is actually the wisdom of the Shiva lingam. But it looks like a bubble, a huge red bubble on the ocean of life. Isn't it interesting that children, and the child within all of us, loves to play with bubbles? Soap bubbles. In chewing gum, the fascination of blowing bubbles, and especially as young adolescents, huge bubbles that burst onto our face, or just in very childish behavior, using the spittle to blow little bubbles. But let's look at the bubble arising off of the water. Soap bubbles, bubbles in the ocean. When everything's calm, there's no bubble. Once there's a little agitation. So if we look at the chakras, from the earth, the first chakra, we have the water. When the water's still, fine. When it gets activated by the third chakra of willpower, it gets churned up, and then the result are sometimes bubbles that appear on the surface. Just as we too are bubbles of energy, Shakti, that have arisen on this earth for a particular period of time. And like the bubbles, eventually they poof, they pop. And the air inside escapes, release, freedom, moksha, liberation, kaivalya. Note that air, ana, is our first and last food. Hence the Hindu wisdom of pranayama, the science of breath control. Breath is life. Sustenance. You can listen to our podcast on Atma Ana, where we understand the wisdom of the food necessary for our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, and soul food, if you will, or as Hindus would say, Atma Darsana. So we all arise for a time on this ocean of life, for who knows how long. It's obviously a temporary existence. The outer bubble is our body, our mind, our emotions, and the development of our individual self, our personality. The outer covering. It's a rainbow of colors, if you will. And the Hindus understood the wisdom of the rainbow and its colors, likened to the chakras, from red to orange to yellow to green to blue. Now within this bubble is the Atmana. The soul, if you will. It's a bit different. Atmana literally means not the mind, and therefore not the body or the emotions. And remember, the meaning of spirit and soul also is incorporeal or not the body. So therefore, no body is spiritual. This transcends the body, mind, and emotions. And the method that we use to do that are what typically referred to as the various religious traditions or paths of the world. The links religio, the binding religio. Yoga to the Hindus, the yoking, to one's Atmana. Remember, that is the meaning of the Sanskrit, Tamil, Hindu word yoga, yogam, to yoke, yuj, to one's Atmana. And then Brahman. Atmana is soul, if you will, of Satchitananda, love, light, and energy, Jyoti, Shakti, Ananda, Shanti. Brahman is simply a greater source, a neuter term, a greater source of this love, light, and energy, or Jyoti, Shakti, Ananda, Shanti. This is the essence of the Hindu yoga, Dharma Tattvamasi, that thou art. We are the Atmana with an outer bubble of body, mind, emotions, Dehamana, Bhavaha. In other words, there is a city of Brahman that lies within all of us. From Chandogya Upanishad, Om ta yad idam asmin Brahman pore, daharo pundarikam vesma, daharosmin antarakas, tasmin yarantas, taran veshtavyam, tadvava viji yanasitavyam. Om. Now, in this city, the body of the Absolute, there is a mansion shaped like a small lotus. In it is a small inner space. What is within that, that should be sought. That indeed one should desire to understand. All the religions of the world provide methodologies for those interested in them to tap into their inner essence and to the spirit world as they perceive it. So too, the Hindu yoga dharma, Hinduism, the Hindu religion, is very specific with its methodologies to tap into the inner Atmana. From the Rig Veda, yoge samana parivam sapta sharvato ratogat. Through the process of yoga, meaning all the yogas, the Hindu yogas, not today's so-called yoga, which is a travesty. The Hindu yogas, karma, bhakti, raja, jnana, hatha, mantra, japa, nada, nata, kundalini. Through this process of the Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific, philosophical lifestyle, one finds within this body chariot, ratugat, their beautiful tranquil nature and the 7 flowing rivers. Sapta Shravato refers to the 7 chakras within. Yoge samana parivam sapta Shravato ratugat. This is what it is to be a Hindu. We're Hindus, we do the various yogas to reach the Atma. Atma Darshana Paramo Dharma. Along with all of our duties in life, our most important one is to ultimately realize our Atmana. For there is a time when this bubble will burst, and this physical existence is over, and poof, Kaivalya, liberation. Think of the inner bubble, the air that's released, the vital airs of the Atmana, gets released into the atmosphere. The air ascends and eventually comes back down to earth in another incarnation, samsara, reincarnation. And again mixes with water, H2O, producing more bubbles, another lifetime, to emerge again, to go through the existence till poof. Actually, the Yoga Sutras, which have been sadly so distorted, the end goal is to be nothing. Kaivalya, liberation. Purushartha sunyam. That absolute experience of the no-thingness that gets absorbed back again for another incarnation as we go lifetime after lifetime, till ideally we're so grounded in the realization that we are the Atmana with a temporary body, mind, and emotions, life lessons learned, then perhaps no need to come back again. But obviously, since we are all here, we humbly have to admit that we all have things to learn, and perhaps to teach others. So as a soap bubble, S-O-A-P, so Atma priority. So the priority, again, along with other important duties in life, is Atma Darsana Paramo Dharma. And during this incarnation, be the bubble. B.U.B.B.L.E. Be you. Beautiful, benevolent, loving entity. Tat Tvam Asi. Aham Brahmasmi. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.